Yup, I'm healing. Kinda. Trying. Sorta. Back in therapy, baby. Reporting for the order. It's Michelle in the middle, where the chaos is real. We laugh, we cry, we try. It's time to talk about how we feel. It's Michelle in the middle, where the chaos is real. We laugh, we cry, we try. It's time to talk about how we feel.
Hey, everybody, what's up? And yeah, like I said, no scheduling here, just whenever I feel like chatting it up with you. This episode is the holiday episode. Yay, Christmas is a couple weeks away. I'm saying that, yeah, very sarcastically. Any of us who are on this grief journey, grief healing journey, knows that the holiday seasons are probably some of the rougher times of the year. Second are adjacent to birth dates and death dates. And this year is no different, other than the fact that I am actively working on myself and actively working to address what's been going on for me, with me for decades. And I'm not going to really harp on how doom and gloom the season is because all of us already know that. Who are kind of struggling during this time. I wanted to focus on the journey itself and the speed, right? There's no speed limit to this thing, right? You're not in your whatever car of choice flying down the highway. Could you be? Absolutely. Everybody's journey is different. But for many of us, it moves slowly. For many of us, there's pit stops along the way. For many of us, we can hit the reverse every now and then. But the key is to stay on the road. So, my last session kind of really focused on a lot of things that I'll talk about in some other episodes. One of them being, are you an introvert or are you just isolated? So, I had to sit with that for a minute because, yes, I'm absolutely an introvert. I have to recharge when I'm around a lot of people, when I'm doing um, talking engagements or I'm on stages and I'm freaking working with groups and facilitating this and directing that. I'm tuned in. I'm all in. I'm locked in. But after that, I shut down, right? And the key is for determining if it's isolation and or introversion is how do you feel when you come back from that shutdown? Are you refreshed or were you hiding? So we'll talk about that more. If you are connected to my Instagram page, I'll have some indicators or little things you can do to say, hey, am I isolating or is it introversion? Or maybe it's a little bit of both. I think that's the category I fall into. But today I'm kind of focusing on the journey, the speed of the journey, the direction of the journey, right? For the past couple weeks, I have found myself slowing down where in the beginning I was moving rather quickly, right? I was being given different uh, things to consider as it relates to methodologies and what I need to do and task and homework from my therapist. But sometimes things in life cause you to stop, to pause, sometimes even go backwards and revisit things, places, people that you thought you had resolved. So for me, it's looking at not losing hope when that happens, right? I'm I'm back in therapy. This is not my first time in therapy. And this is my second time with the same therapist because yes, I don't want to use the term fired therapist. I think that's weird in some sense, the tone in that, because for me it wasn't I'm firing my therapist. I mean, hell, they probably wanted to fire me. but it was more of the type of therapist I need has to be kind of in your face. Anybody who knows me in real life knows if I chew on something, it's like a bulldog. No pun intended. Go dogs. But if I chew on something, it's like I'm locked onto it. Or I think I know this and I think I know that. And I am currently a PhD student in psychology. Why can't I do my own therapy? Because you have blind spots. Because there's people who know more than you in different areas. Because you don't know everything. So I had to connect with a therapist who can flow with my personality, who respects me, who I am as an individual, and what I've accomplished, but also can see that all those accomplishments were signs of my trauma. Let that sit for a second. All those accomplishments were signs of my trauma. So these high achievers, right? These high functioning people, yes, it could be that as an expression versus people who automatically think you need to see somebody breaking down. Sometimes you'll see that person excelling, and it's a sign of their trauma. So, again, not saying I have fired people in the past. It was more of, we're not really a good fit. Some were too close to me in age. So it just felt like I was talking to a friend, and that's not what I need. I have friends who are therapists. I don't need buddy energy. Um, there was one who was a little bit over the top with sternness. So I found somebody who is nicely right in the middle and it works out. So if you have tried it in the past and you felt like it didn't work or you just weren't getting the results, it might not have been you not getting results. It might have been the connection with um, the professional you were working with. And not saying that they're bad. It was more of, just not a fit. And that's totally okay. Um, so yeah, like starting with the therapist that's going to fit for you is key, but also understanding that it's not a one-way street and that there's no speed limit here. So sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I found myself in the same conversation again, or I'm finding myself interacting with the same people again, or I found myself having the same thoughts again. That doesn't mean you're failing. That doesn't mean you aren't getting it, but it could be an opportunity to see how you're going to respond to the same stimuli or same event, same person this time around. And recognizing that you're in the same space, right? You're already further along than you were before, when you didn't have that awareness. So I guess this episode and during this time of year is to know that sometimes we slow down. Sometimes we might even back up and have to reassess something or, am I responding the same way as I did before? Am I finding myself in the exact same place as I was before? But even in those examples, your awareness is different. So you're still moving ahead. Sometimes going back is moving ahead because you're seeing if you're responding the same and you have a different awareness of the situation, right? Something that felt so good at one time now feels wrong. Somebody who felt like so much like a match at one time suddenly feels like, why am I even here? Right? What is this doing for me? So, if you are someone who, such as myself, during this time of season, it's a lot of reflection going on. It's the end of the year too, and you might not be exactly where you want to be, but you're not where you were. Again, you might not be exactly where you want to be or as far down the road as you were hoping to be at this time, but you are not where you were. And the key is to stay on the road. Even if you take a pit stop, right? You got to refill. You got to refill yourself. You have to restore yourself. Get back on the road. As long as you stay on the road, it doesn't matter how fast you're going, how slow you're going. If you have to pause for a moment, you have to revisit some things. You're still on the road. You're still moving forward, right? 2 steps back. No, is it 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 2 steps forward, 1 step back? Whatever that dance looks like to you, it's your dance. And it doesn't necessarily have to follow anybody's speed or tempo but your own. So I'm going to land this plane here. I will have some different elements for people who are like, is it introversion or is it isolation? Or, where are you at in your journey? And we're in this together. We're getting through this together. I've had some sour moments over the past week or so, and that's probably why it's taken me so long to get back and speak on it, because I've had to do some reflection myself. And reflection isn't bad. Think of it as wiping your rearview mirror clear, or turning your defroster on when you're driving in weather conditions that fog your windows up. Sometimes that pause, sometimes that track back a little bit is you just clearing off the condensation so you can see clearer as you keep moving forward. So hopefully this helps. I have no idea who's listening to these rambling sessions, but it's kind of just like my audio journal. It's my way of journaling. Communication is a gift of mine, so if it could help anybody along the way, if I've given at least one person during this time in the year encouragement, totally worth it. Totally worth it. So you all take care, stay safe, and keep moving, keep going.